Hi, I'm Beth Graves, and thank you for joining us on the Circus Arts Spotlight. Each week, we'll shine the spotlight on the people, programs, and events of the Circus Arts Conservatory. In addition to professional and student youth performances, we'll explore incredible outreach programs and learn how the circus arts impact so many aspects of life. For more information on today's topic, or anything circus arts related, please go to our website, circusarts.org. Now, let's get started. Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Circus Arts Spotlight. Today we're going to speak with Kelly Fairchild, who we've spoken with before, but felt there was still a story there to tell. So today we're going to visit with her and talk more about her circus background. Kelly's mother's family, the Campas, are one of Mexico's largest and oldest circus families, and she grew up on traveling circuses, touring the United States and Canada at a young age. She now plays an integral part of the running of the CAC, her circus background helping in a myriad of ways. And we're so lucky to have her.
Hi, Beth. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good, thanks. So we'll just get right into it. You grew up in a circus world that really, truly does not exist anymore. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, well, I think the circus, like a lot of art forms, has evolved quite a bit, particularly, I would say, in the last 20 years with technology. Families don't really go to as many circuses anymore. They don't do as many family things together. Everybody has a smartphone. Everybody has a computer, a laptop, so on. So it's really changed quite a bit, but it's still a really great art form and wonderful family entertainment for those that still attend.
Okay. So when you were growing up in the circus world, how did your family travel?
We had a truck and a trailer, a recreational vehicle, as they're called, and we had our own spaces in the trailer, and in the truck we would keep all of our circus equipment and everything we needed to perform.
So can you tell us a little bit about what kind of circus equipment you had? Like what were the acts that your equipment was used for?
Sure. So my father was a knife thrower. So we had, of course, the different assortment of knives. We had the knife board, which is just basically, as it sounds, a wooden board that my mother would stand against, and my father would throw knives at her. He was, pardon me. My father was also a ringmaster, so of course all of the wardrobe that's needed, microphones, juggling equipment, juggling clubs, rings, balls. My mother did foot juggling as well, so all of those apparatuses.
Okay.
So, yeah, chock full of equipment.
And do you have any brothers or sisters that traveled with you?
I do. I have two younger brothers.
And so how do you feel that the circus lifestyle shaped you as a person?
Wow. Circus, those that grow up in the circus are generally very disciplined. I feel like I'm very disciplined, very responsible. When you travel 7 days a week and you're in a different town every day and you have 10 or 12 hours to accomplish a lot of tasks, it makes you very responsible, makes you very efficient at getting tasks done. And that's something that served me in my life outside of the circus.
So did your brothers perform?
They did little clown routines when they were small. But for the most part, my brothers and I have been behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Okay. And then, that next to my next question is you have worked behind the scenes a lot. So can you tell us a little bit about, I think we did talk about this a little bit the last time, but what is your specialty? What have you done? I mean, I know that you're well-versed in so many aspects of the circus. Can you tell other people about that?
Yes, well, the circus is, after all, a business, and a lot of people don't think of it that way, and they tend to forget that. So there's a lot of administrative tasks that need to be performed. I spent quite a bit of time as a booking agent, securing venues for circuses, and along with that, securing permits, purchasing, organizing vets for the animals, because when the circus travels, there's things that need to happen in the home office. That's their job to coordinate. If a pony needs its Coggins, or a camel needs its blue tongue test, then it's your job to find a vet that can handle that, and will go out and to see the animals. Sometimes in very, very small towns. So there's a lot to be done. Publicity, of course, marketing, all that.
I've never heard of a camel blue tongue test.
Yeah, it's a test that you have to administer to camelids traveling through different states.
And is it hard to find somebody to treat a camel when you're in Nebraska or Omaha?
Yes, it is. It's very difficult, and a lot of vets. It's not hard to find a vet, but it is very hard to find a vet that will work with exotic animals.
Yeah.
Most vets just just work with dogs and cats.
Yeah.
The occasional bird or bunny rabbit, but camels and llamas are certainly out of their wheelhouse usually. So it can be quite a task. You have to start on it early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
The blue tongue test.
Yeah. There's so much that goes into making sure that a traveling circus runs smoothly, that people really don't think about.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you guys, were you independent, and then you would do contracts with other circuses?
Correct, yes. My parents were independent performers. They, on and off throughout the years, had an agent, just like a basketball player or a musician has an agent. And they would, at the time, you would have to send in your videotape and your headshots to the different circus producers, to their home office, and they would hire you, or they would see you out and about on different circuses, and they would hire you that way. And usually you'd work, anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 years, depending on what acts you do. Some years you would do, my mother would foot juggle and do web, and then the next year they would do, the knife throwing and the juggling. So
yeah. So do your brothers have anything to do with the circus?
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
And your parents, I'm assuming they're retired, or are they still performing?
Yes, they are retired. My mother and stepfather just recently retired after 25 years with the Big Apple Circus.
Wow.
But I do still have many, many relatives in the circus.
Now, what about your grandparents? Were they circus people?
Yes, my grandparents were in the circus. My great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my family. I'm the 8th generation.
Wow.
In circus.
That's so very cool. So, and I can just imagine all these little kids running around the circus grounds, kind of like you see in the old movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Where they're trying things and being little clowns.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I know that you are not married, but you have a longtime boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And was he in the circus? Is that how you met him?
He was, yes. Yes, I've known him pretty much my entire life, and his family was in the circus as well.
So what does he do? Or what did he do?
He did an act called teeter board, flying trapeze, perch pole, and hand bouncing.
Wow. So for those of you that don't know what the teeter board is, it's kind of like a seesaw that one person jumps on one end, and then the other person does like a flip onto somebody's shoulders or onto a mat, and it's very cool, and it looks like the people are flying.
Pretty cool.
So that is really, really neat. So did he travel the same time you did?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that how you guys met?
Mm-hmm. We actually never worked together on any shows, but circus people generally all know each other. It's kind of a small community, so I just knew him just from events in the wintertime, social gatherings between circus people.
Okay. So you mentioned that you have a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff that were circus. Are they still performing?
The majority of my relatives are still performing. in various capacities, some performing in the ring, some on the administrative end. But yes, I would say probably 80% of my relatives are still involved in the circus in one way or the other.
And is it mainly here in the U.S. or are they still in Mexico? Or?
Primarily in Mexico.
Yeah.
I do have relatives here that perform, but most of my relatives are still in Mexico.
So I know for a long time circus was very big in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still really very popular there, or is it sort of like here?
It's still very popular, but it is, it is like here where it's, it starts to wane a little bit, if you will.
So I wonder how everybody is doing, if they're actually performing now with the pandemic, or if they're just sitting it out and waiting.
Yeah, most circuses are not performing currently. A couple of them are performing outdoors without a tent, but for the most part, everybody's just staying put.
Yeah. So here at the Circus Arts Conservatory, we've been very, very lucky that we've been able to keep our programming going, albeit much smaller. We were able to do our circus summer camp, and the Sailor Circus kids are actually training at the moment, and we're looking forward to doing our shows in December. Giving us a little plug here. So the Sailor Circus program normally has about 100 kids. I think this year we have about half as many. But they are training socially distanced, and they are wearing face masks. And so have you been able to go into any of the training sessions and see what's going on?
Absolutely, yeah. I try to stick my head in the arena every day and just kind of get a feel for what's happening. It's really amazing to see the kids are so resilient. And, at first I wasn't quite sure how the wearing of the mask was going to be, because sometimes it's hard to get kids to do what you want them to do. But, everybody's been really responsible with the mask wearing, the hand washing, and, staying apart from each other. So, it's really, really cool to see them, which just goes to show you that the tremendous drive they have to perform and the love they have for the circus arts.
Right. So, and I know, and I don't know if you know this, but a lot of them actually trained over the summer from their homes when they couldn't get into the arena. And also, as long as I'm giving us a plug, we are opening up our public classes as well. I just saw on our website that there are silks classes that people are signing up for starting in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how many of you are in Sarasota, but any of you listening. But, so check our website to see what we have going on, because we do have a lot of policies in place for COVID and for social distancing and mask wearing, and we're really excited that we are able to open up our programming. Our summer camp was very successful. We did not have any incidents, and we're sort of, whatever procedures were set in place for that are what we're doing now for our classes and our Sailor Circus training. So anyway, moving on. I'm sure politically you've seen this and in other ways, but oftentimes when something's going on in the country, in the world, and not organized, a lot of stuff going on, people will call it a circus. And I think I've heard many circus people take offense to that. Yeah, it is sort of
that phrase is sort of a bone of contention. Because those of us who grew up in the circus and are involved in the circus, and Beth, I'm sure you know, the circus operates with an almost military-like precision. You have to, when you move 7 days a week, or even if you move once a week, I mean, it's very, you have 12 hours to set up a tent, erect the tent, to practice, to do your schooling, to eat, to get ready, to shower, to get your house together, give 2 performances, and take it all down again. So it really moves with military precision. So it is very offensive to us when they say that, disorganized things are like a circus. Yeah. Because they're certainly not. But, it is what it is. It's one of those things. We're used to it at this point, but
we should try to come up with a different term. And we could start a movement.
Yeah, it'll go viral. We'll make it viral.
Yeah, we should do that. I just can't think of anything at the moment that we could call it besides a political mess.
Oh.
And not just in politics, in anything in life. If something is a mess, it should have to do with politics.
Absolutely.
Politics is kind of a mess. So, what other misconceptions do you think people have about the circus?
I think that there are several. There are several. I think the first thing is that people assume that because you are traveling that you are uneducated, that you're not going to school. People also tend to, people fear what they don't know.
Right.
And I think that there's a sort of perception that people that are in circus are gypsies.